If you clicked on this video, you or someone you know might be feeling down and you're looking for a solution or a way to help fix that. So I wanted to share with you guys my personal experiences and how I'm able to overcome what has gone my way. What has been keeping me down lately is family passing away, my career going downhill, and that leads to hiding through an addiction. And for me, it was World of Warcraft. For others, it could be drug or alcohol or binging television series and not being productive in general, wasting a copious amount of time. And that could also lead to weight gain. So those really kill your self-esteem. Once you combine all those factors, it feels like time is just slipping by you and you've done nothing at all. Like a year just goes by. And in fact, you might feel like you're regressing, because for me, 2 years ago, I was at the height of my career. I was earning 10 to 20,000 Australian dollars a month, to the point where I earned nothing, $0. I was 72 kilos, which is fit for my height. And so far, it's been a massive regression because I've just been hiding myself in an addiction. And this addiction, I didn't want to let go of, because the moment I let go of it, I would realize how bad my life is turning and it's getting worse. And it's just going downhill. It doesn't feel easy to make that switch, to go back to the good times. It's not possible with just like a snap of a finger. There's a lot to work on, and I'm here to share with you guys how you can work on it to improve and to get yourself out of that rut, to make yourself feel better, to make yourself feel accomplished, and to make yourself feel like you're someone again, someone useful. And to be honest, all of that is compounded by the fact that I made a I don't have any friends video a while back, and it's still quite true to this day, although I'm actively trying to change that by meeting up with anyone that reaches out. So that is something that I'm working towards. But the true answer that you guys are looking for is, how can you beat this addiction and get back with your life? How can you do that? Well, for me personally, it took a very long time because I didn't have anyone to guide me. I didn't have anyone to really fully understand how I feel. So for you guys, you might have a best friend that really truly understands you and is able to empathize and understand your addiction and how they could work with you to get you off of that addiction, but at a pace that you're comfortable with. So for me, World of Warcraft, I absolutely love that game to pieces. And I wouldn't want to just snap my fingers and get off of World of Warcraft either, but I wanted it to be gradual, although it was a bit too gradual and took over a year. So that's something that I should have been able to end a lot earlier, but I didn't really have that driving force or motivation or passion to just cut it. So how did I get off of that? Well, the first thing was I had the self-awareness kick in. I realized what was going on with my life, and I realized that the source of the problem was World of Warcraft for me, or for you guys, it could be an addiction that you're trying to get off of. So if you can get off of that addiction, you have to first be self-aware and know the steps you need to take in order to get off of that addiction. The biggest torture is really from your own mind. And sometimes we are too harsh on ourselves. So in order for us to move forward, we have to learn to forgive ourselves. It's a bit of a process, but personally for me, I had something that would snap inside me, and it was that I was able to slowly not enjoy World of Warcraft as much, and then I would be watching K-dramas. I know you guys might be rolling your eyes, K-drama, really? That could be an addiction in itself. And you're right, it could be an addiction, but except I'm not addicted to it. And I realized that all the main characters in K-dramas have something in common. They're all very rich, they're good looking, they are talented, and they are the center of attention for a reason. They have some specific traits, and maybe they have some negative traits about them that put some nuance in the plot. But the fact that you can easily work on your appearance by working out, by taking care of your skin, by eating healthier, you can fit that criteria. Can you become rich as them? Not so much, but you can work on your career. So for me, going back onto YouTube and working my ass off would be the way to go personally. But for you, it could be finding that job and getting promotions. So that's also a whole journey in itself. And then having talents, that involves finding hobbies that you like and doing them, getting good at them, finding new hobbies. So I want to go through each one of them. So how did I break this habit? I saw a K-drama where the main character was really good at cooking, and that was one of his selling points to make friends. It wasn't exactly that simple and clear cut, but I just wanted to simplify it for the sake of this video. He was making food and people really enjoyed it, and people grew to like him because he made really good food. At the same time, obviously, he was good looking and wealthy and all of that, but that's something that we have to work towards slowly. So the next thing was, I decided that I wanted to start cooking. I made a bunch of dishes from different cuisines. At the same time, when I was snapping out of it, I also needed to cut World of Warcraft completely. So I replaced that addiction with a hobby. It's very clear cut when there's an addiction versus a hobby, is because the hobby is productive. It puts you forward. It helps you learn something new that is useful. And an addiction is something that is very useless, and its only purpose is to distract yourself from shortcomings. But at the same time, it's detrimental to everything else in life. So that's what I would define an addiction. So I made a bunch of dishes. I started to clean out my entire room. I mean clean as in like I started to get rid of all the clothes that I don't wear. I started to wipe down every surface in my room. I even bought a new wardrobe, and then I organized all my clothes there. I changed my bed sheets. I wiped down all the surfaces, the floor, all the shelves, all the dusty like printers. I threw out a bunch of those boxes. I think they're StarCraft and World of Warcraft boxes. Chucked them all out. I chucked out a lot of other things that I didn't use and didn't need, that were just really old stuff. So my room's a lot tidier. And that takes a lot of willpower, and that's also something very productive. It gets your mind off things, it gets you to spend some time and reflect on everything. So with that out of the way, you have addiction out of the way by replacing it with a hobby. And then number 2 is taking care of your looks. Start eating healthier, diet, exercise. I personally go and run every day if I'm not playing badminton. And then I realized that if you're to diet and exercise, and for guys specifically, it's your arms and your chest. You want to have bigger arms and chest. You don't want to be overly buff, but you want to just have some muscle there so that you look more presentable and more attractive. And at the same time, have a good hairstyle. So go to the salon, get a haircut. These things really, really help out. So once you're able to cut the addiction, start your hobbies, start exercising, then you need to work towards career. So how can you, now that you have a better mindset, a positive outlook of life, how can you start working on your career and actually just pushing through, making that money and elevating your status, so that if you're in a rough spot in your relationship, your ex-partner or maybe potential future partners will see you and be like, this guy is now a valuable, good-looking, decent guy that can take care of himself, so therefore he can take care of me. How can you become someone like that? You obviously need to start working on your career if you've gone downhill. In my case, I have, which I'll need to work really hard on YouTube and maybe even streaming. Or I could also pick up a job on the side and enter something called a flow state, which is being in a very creative mindset where you'll block out all negative thoughts. So at this point, you will still have negative thoughts. Maybe it's from heartbreak, a relationship. Maybe it's from the amount of time that you've wasted in the past year. It could be a number of things, but it's never just one. In order to push all of that out, you want to be in a creative zone. If you're maybe a YouTuber that makes videos, if you're a photographer that sells their photos, if you're a filmmaker, if you're just any sort of career that you are passionate about, you should pursue that. And while you're pursuing that, you enter this flow state of what I heard from Improvement Pill, the YouTube channel, that you're able to be in a state of mind that you push out all negative thoughts because you're so focused on creating. And that also applies to stuff like hobbies as well. You're using like 100% of your brain power, especially in my last video where I talked about my 1-year addiction. You can see that on the top left of the video. It was detailing my addiction. And while I was making a video like that, I was in the full flow state where all I was doing was completely focused on making that video and nothing else. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel depressed. I didn't feel anxious. I just felt at ease and at peace, sort of like just creating content, and it felt good. At the end of it, once I finished making it, I felt like a weight was lifted off my chest that I was able to share this with everyone. And at this point, I'm still sharing with you guys. So I hope that this information has found its way to you helpful. And if it has, please drop a like. In summary, get into a creative flow state, break the addiction, start finding good hobbies, and start taking care of yourself, guys. It's been quite a rough year. But I hope to hear back from all of you about how you are now the main character of your own K-drama. Cheers.